Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another reading vlog. So I was meaning to do this intro a couple of days ago and I just didn't do it. I just haven't really had time. The other day I literally got home from work and I ended up doing my nails, which took up most of the day, and then yesterday I redid them. I'm never satisfied and I've just had my time taken up by things, and actually I haven't really been in the mood for reading, and I have started my current read, but again yesterday I did no reading at all. I think it's the first time in ages I just haven't read anything, and for the last 2 days I've read nothing. So anyway, this is going to be a little bit of a mixed reading vlog. I do feel like I'm starting to get in a bit of a fantasy mood. I don't think I'm going to be reading any fantasy at all because my TBR for the month has no fantasy in it. So I have to be really quick about this introduction because I am meeting my friend Sophie at 10:30. Hopefully I can get her in this reading vlog, and also I have to feed the dog in a minute and take him out for a walk. So I'm like busy this morning and I'm like freaking out because I've only just finished getting ready. The book that I'm currentry reading is Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jesse Q. Satanto. This is a kind of like mystery thriller book. It follows this 60-year-old woman and she runs a tea shop called Vera Wong's Famous Tea Shop, I think it's called, and basically one day she walks into her tea shop to find a dead man in there and she has no idea who he is, and she decides to become an amateur sleuth herself and try and figure out who the murderer was and what happened, because she thinks that she can do a better job and she's just really nosy. So far I'm only 10% in. I haven't really done much reading. Honestly, I haven't been in the mood for reading. I feel like this is the first time in ages where I've had days where I just haven't read at all, which I'm kind of disappointed by because I felt like I was really on a roll, but I've kind of burnt out a little bit and I feel like I'm getting in a fantasy mood now, which really scares me because all of the TBR books that I've chosen for this month are romances or just really fun, you know, YA books, and I don't know if I'm gonna be in the mood for them, and I'm terrified because I want to like stick to my TBR. Anyway, as I said, I'm 10% in. I find that Vera so far is really hilarious. She sends her son like these messages all the time and she kind of expects him to reply straight away, and she's like, oh, he doesn't reply, and she kind of sends him messages because she wakes up at 4 AM every day, and I'm like, girl, you're doing too much. And she sends her son a message and she's like, you should be up already, you know, otherwise you'll die of a heart attack. Your uncle died of this, like if you don't do this you'll die. And she's just really funny, and I'm finding this book, like, it's not your typical, you know, mystery thriller. It's not scary, it's not suspenseful. There is that mystery aspect there so far, but it feels really cozy and really comedic, and I think it's meant to be that way, and I love it because I've never read a cozy thriller and I feel like this is giving that. So I'm super excited to see where it goes. It's only a really short book on my Kindle, so I'm kind of hoping that I can get through it quickly and then move on to my next read, but I will give you an update when I've done some more reading. And I have to go now because I've got to feed the dog and walk the dog, and I'm just stressed this morning. I'm stressed with a capital S. Say hello to my reading vlog. Hello. This is, okay, so for those of you who don't watch my travel vlogs, which if you're not watching those, why are you not watching them? This is my friend Sophie. If I'm not at home, this is who I'm with. So if I'm ever murdered and Sophie has no idea then something's gone very wrong. What are you currently reading, Sophie, if you're reading anything?
I am currently reading The Bride Collector by Somewhere in My Bag.
It's not by Somewhere in My Bag, it's Final.
I'm gonna expose myself with all the books in my bag now.
Oh, we've gone, well, I say we, she has gone book shopping today. I have bought no books because I'm very good. Although, to be fair, there was a bookshop in town and they recently had Samantha Shannon there and they had signed copies, but I haven't read the first book and I didn't want to buy a book just for the sake of it, so.
And for transparency reasons, we didn't go book shopping. We went mooching about,
but she ended up
book shopping. Bride Collector by Siobhan MacDonald. Quite good. There's some murders happening. It's brides or bride-to-bees are happening around the wedding day-ish, and they're all being laid out in their wedding dresses. Ooh. Ring. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Yeah, sixpence in their shoot, and the whole thing is like it's going along the whole something borrowed, something blue, something else, something new. That sort of rhyme is linked into the way they're laid out. Quite good. I'm about halfway through. love the way it's written, to be honest, but it's a good story.
It's okay.
So. And it was 3 for 2 in the Wonks.
That's nice. We're not sponsored by the Works.
Please sponsor us.
I can't give you a reading update because I literally have done no reading today. I did say that I was going out with Sophie, so it's her fault. We are currently sat on our favourite little hill. We are by the beach and it's very rough out there today. I'll just switcherooning you around.
Sorry about the windscreen. Windscreen wash again.
Her windscreen is probably just as dirty as my mirror. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but it's very rough. That rock, yeah, always reminds me of the Harry Potter rock.
Oh, with where the cave is?
Yeah. Wait, where is that rock like a real thing?
What?
The Harry Potter rock?
I don't actually know.
I bet it was
It's
CGI.
CGI.
Yeah. Unless they superimposed it.
Yeah, yeah, they probably did that actually.
They did that with the island, but the island actually exists.
Oh, we went there.
We did. We went to all the Harry Potter locations, which you would know if you've seen our travel vlogs.
That's true.
But yeah, that's Sophie's little book update. I've got no update to give. I'm completely pointless in this clip. Anyway, I'll update you when I can update you. Unless we're, you know, going somewhere or doing something, I don't know. So. I don't know whether you'll be able to hear me. We are currently in an undisclosed location because I will not tell anyone the location of where we are because this is way too fun. But we are currently surrounded by squirrels and we're feeding them nuts, thanks to Sophie. Building a little keeper out of the birds contraption. So unfortunately I didn't have my camera out and I really wish I had done. Because, oh dear, oh sir, you're gonna have to wait. Sir.
Funny, is it, huh?
Sir. Please don't. Okay, I'm gonna put these down nicely. You're gonna stuff them all in your mouth. Okay.
The bird can't get in there, right?
No. Basically, we keep getting ambushed by crows, which crows are fine, but they're getting very close and they keep nicking all the nuts that we're leaving for the squirrels. But Sophie put a bunch of nuts in that hole. And as she was doing it, this squirrel jumped, literally fucking leaped out at us, landed on Sophie's hand.
I jumped off of my hand towards Claire.
And then landed on my foot, and I've never screeched so fast.
Yeah, you really did scream.
I'm not being funny, I like them on the floor and I don't mind them eating from my hand, but I'm not sure how I feel about them on me. I did tell you at some point a squirrel would be on me.
So
you've it's your fault.
Yeah, I thought they were going to climb up my legs, so I wasn't really expecting one to just jump at me.
I really wish I'd filmed that.
Trying to jump on me.
There's someone on the floor. There's someone on the floor.
Right, come on. Bye, guys. Yeah. You guys can do it.
Oh my god, how many are there?
That's 4 there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Sir. We're officially going to be mugged by squirrels. Oh my god. Oh, you're leaping. Jesus Christ. Oh fuck. I think we're good. I'm now back. Oh. Careful. Hello. I have a doggy that's very excited to see me home. Say hello. Oh, you're so cute. I'm now back from my day with Sophie, looking a little bit windswept. It's actually really late. We haven't hung out like this late for ages. It's currently 7 o'clock, it's just gone past 7 and I literally have just got back, so I'm going to get in my pyjamas for the evening and hopefully do some much needed reading of Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice on Murderers, and I will get back to you when I have an update, which will probably, ew, don't lick my hands, I need to wash them. And that update will probably be maybe in a few days time. I have kind of a busy week coming up, so we have some family friends coming down, so we're going to be taking them out and stuff, so we have that next weekend. On Thursday I'm actually seeing Heathers in the theatre, which I'm super excited about. I'm actually going after work, so I'm really excited for that, because it's actually a show that I wanted to see in London and then my ticket got cancelled. I'm just hoping that I can get this book finished quite soon because it's a short book and I am finding it quite funny. And it definitely has a cozy vibe, which I like. But yeah, I'll update you soon. Okay, so this is an update because I officially finished my first book yesterday. Obviously, I said that I was going to update you guys. Apologies, I just had to change my battery. So yesterday evening, I did in fact finish Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. I ended up giving it a solid 3 stars in the end. Not because it was bad and not because it was particularly amazing. It was just okay. I can see why people would really love this. And if you're someone who really enjoys those kind of like cozy mystery books, like they have that kind of murder element to them, but they're not really that dark and they're not overly scary or whatever, they just have this kind of like wholesome vibe, which is weird to say when it's paired with murder, but like if you're into that, definitely give this book a go. I feel like you would really enjoy it. This book was just a lot different to what I expected it to be. I think when I went in, I was mainly expecting the book to be told from Vera's perspective, and I was expecting there to be way more comedy than there was. The book at the start was quite comedic and there were a couple of really funny moments which I enjoyed, and there were a lot of really like wholesome moments, but I think I was just expecting more of that rather than what I got. And this book is told in multiple perspectives, so you get Vera's perspective, which to be honest, after a while you don't really see her perspective much more, which is kind of weird because I thought the book was supposed to be about her being this like amateur sleuth, you know, she was going to be this detective and solve this murder, and in the end you end up piecing the puzzle together through these other people's perspectives until it comes right to the end of the book when everything is solved. And to be honest, I wasn't really that invested in the murder side. It felt a lot different to kind of a murder mystery book. I feel like half the time the plot wasn't actually focused on the murder at all. It was mainly focusing on these people and kind of like things they thought they had done wrong and them trying to figure their lives out after this big event happened, and it really just didn't feel like a murder mystery to me. It was just very different to what I was expecting. I can see why people would like it, I really do, but for me it was no more than a 3 star. I did really like the wholesome vibes. I definitely feel like this is a book that you should read if you like the found family trope, because there is a lot of that in here. I feel like the book kind of centers around that idea of found family, which I really liked. I thought that was really wholesome. It gave me good vibes. It made me feel happy. And let me just say, don't read this book if you're hungry, because Vera cooks so much food and oh my god, like I just want her to cook me loads of food now. Like, I was hungry constantly when I was reading this book. I also really like the fact that the book kind of centers around her tea room. Now, the tea room doesn't always make an appearance, but it is mentioned very often and tea is mentioned very often, and I kind of really like that. I feel like it added a really unique element to the book. I just really love the fact that tea and the tea room made such an appearance in this book. I feel like they made it really unique and I just really enjoyed that about it. But yeah, I don't really have too much to say. I just feel really neutral about it, to be honest. I feel like it's not one of those books that I would completely write off. I don't know whether I mean, I might read more of this author's books in the future. I wouldn't completely write her off, but I think the issue for me was that at some parts, and I think it was due to the multiple perspectives, I did find myself getting very bored. And mainly it was towards the end. I just wasn't interested anymore, and to be honest, I wasn't really that interested in solving the murder at all. It just felt like this book wasn't about the murder anyway, and I felt like the murder took kind of like a step back from the plot, and it just felt very weird to me. But it was okay. It was a 3 star. I've seen a lot of people rate this like a 4 and 5 star, which is why I think I was really excited going in, because it was definitely different for me to be reading a book like this. But it was free. It was a 3 star. It was okay. I definitely would say give it a go. But yeah, it was nice. Wholesome vibes all around. Liked it. 3 star. So now onto the book that I'm gonna read. I haven't actually picked anything up yet, but I do feel like I know what I'll pick up, and that's probably Bloodlines by Rochelle Mead. I'm not gonna 100% put that in stone because I'm not sure. Maybe I'll start reading it and then realise I'm not in the mood for it at all. But whilst I was reading the Vera Wong book, I really got in the mood for a fantasy, and I haven't put any fantasy on my TBR this month because fantasy kind of terrifies me because it's my favourite genre, but I hate the idea of not getting into something, especially when they're so like intricate with their plot lines and there's a lot going on, there's a lot of characters, there's a lot of world building, and if I'm not in the right headspace I can't get into a book like that. So in that way fantasy terrifies me, so I'm going to go with Bloodlines because it has kind of like that paranormal element to it that's like not a part of the real world, and I think I need to escape the real world for a little while, so that's the book I'm going to read next, I think. Okay, I'm quickly going to make this update now before I do anything else because I literally updated a week ago now. Actually, I think it's just over a week because this time last week I actually was, I think I was watching my show, but I didn't get home until I think near enough 9 o'clock because the train was delayed. And yeah, it was just a whole fiasco. I have not even read in over a week, which is like the first time in the past few months that that's happened. I just haven't been in a reading mood, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I've hyperfixated on Taylor Swift, and that is a problem in itself. But I just keep thinking about all of the stuff that I have to look forward to, and then I keep thinking about the fact that I have to get tickets to the Eras tour when it comes to the UK, and it's stressing me out, and it's not even happened yet. Anyway, I just haven't been in a reading mood. It's just that every time I go and pick up my book, I'm just not interested in reading it, which makes me feel like I should pick something else to read because I'm actually trying to make my way through Bloodlines currently, which I don't know if I've mentioned that. I feel like I might have mentioned that. And the funny thing is that I'm like a good chunk of the way in. I think I'm 17% of the way in, so it's not even like I'm only a couple of pages in. Like, I've literally fully started the book and I've really started to make progress on it, but every time I think about reading it I'm just like meh, and I don't know what it is because it's not a bad book so far and I feel like it's something that I would really enjoy. I think I just need to proactively go and pick up my book rather than just think about it, because I feel like that's what I've been doing the past like week or so. And I also need to get out of my head this idea that it's going to live up to the Vampire Academy, because the Vampire Academy series I loved because of Rose. But yeah, I think I need to get this idea out of my head that it's going to live up to the Vampire Academy series for me, because I feel like that could be an issue. But so far I'm enjoying it. I think it's just taken me a while to get involved in the book. I think a big issue that I have with this book is that I'm having trouble remembering certain characters, because there are characters in this so far that have been in the Vampire Academy series and I can't remember what their involvement was and where they popped up. I feel like once I get actually properly into it, I'm really gonna love it, but so far I'm struggling. I think I'm just trying not to get in a slump, and the reason that I don't want to pick up another book is because I don't want to give up this easily. Like, I don't think I'm in the slump part of my reading phase yet, but it's getting there. But I don't want to pick something else up because I just don't want to leave a book kind of half read. Anyway, I'll update you guys once I've made some progress, hopefully. Okay, so I owe you guys an update because I don't think I've updated for like a good week or two now. I'm just gonna let you know it is now May 2nd, so we are in an entirely different month now. I last filmed sometime during April. It literally took me 2 to I think 3 weeks to read Bloodlines. I finished on the last day of April. Obviously we're now in May, it's an entirely different month now. I'm gonna be honest, April was just a really hard reading month for me. I read hardly anything. So yes, I have finished Bloodlines. I ended up giving it 3 stars in the end. I don't really feel like I gave you guys many updates on what I thought about that book. I don't know if I gave any updates at all. I think maybe I said I was reading it, but I wasn't that far in. Anyway, so my thoughts are, I gave it 3 stars. I think I was just expecting to be into it as much as I was into Vampire Academy, and that just didn't happen. Sydney was just a character that even in Vampire Academy, I didn't really find her that interesting as a character, especially when you're reading about her as a main character. Like, I didn't love her. She didn't have the kind of kick-ass badassery that Rose has, and I think that put me off slightly. And also just the plot overall, for me, I just found it a little boring. I don't really feel like much happened in that book. I feel like you could have honestly condensed that so much more and then added more action-packed stuff. What I will say is I am going to continue on with that series. I'm not going to continue on with it straight away because it did take me such a long time to read it, and I do feel like partly I got into a reading slump, but also partly it was the book's fault and not just my fault. I didn't get along with Sydney's character for most of the book. Towards the end, I thought she was a little bit more interesting, and she was kind of finding her feet a little more, and she was kind of like talking back a little more and sticking up for herself, which I really liked. You know, I don't have to read about a badass main character, but I just think the plot overall, there just really wasn't much happening. And there were little kind of like snippets that you were getting that, you know, you kind of had to clue together what was going on. But other than that, just nothing much happened. I feel like Vampire Academy was just paced very well, in the sense that you were given kind of like snippets of information, and there was a lot of like mystery and drama going on, and then there was a lot of action, and I just loved it. And obviously the alchemists aren't the most action-packed people in the Vampire Academy world. They're kind of like the police of the vampire world, so they're pretty boring, but I did enjoy it. It was okay. I definitely preferred the last quarter of the book to the rest of it. I felt like once I got into that kind of like last part, I really started enjoying it. But yeah, I'm gonna continue on. I'm really excited to see where it goes. I do really enjoy Adrian's character. He was a character that I really enjoyed in the Vampire Academy series, just because there's a lot of mystery surrounding him, and he's like this typical bad boy that gives off this really bad boy persona, but he's not. He's actually really soft. He just uses that to keep people at bay. And obviously I do think there's going to be something going on with Sydney and Adrian is dealing with a lot of stuff that he carried over from the Vampire Academy series, because obviously he had a thing with Rose. So I'm excited to see where that goes. But yeah, April was just overall a really hard reading month for me. I struggled so badly. I think it's the first time this year that I've actually really struggled to read. And every single day I was like, oh, it's my fault because I'm going on TikTok and I'm just scrolling endlessly on my phone. But I do think that the book was partly to blame. And also the first book that I read in the month wasn't the greatest either. I definitely felt myself struggling with that one as well. So overall, not a great reading vlog. I am gonna end this reading vlog here. Anyway, hopefully I'll be seeing you in another video where I read way much more than I did in this one. And if not, hopefully I just give you more updates, because this was the worst reading vlog I think I've ever done. Like, this was pretty bad. Anyway, until the next time, I will see you then. So bye guys.